It's May and it's Lyme Disease Awareness Month. I don't know if you knew that, but I had Lyme disease for 15 years before being diagnosed correctly, and that's a bummer. I don't want that to happen to you. I also don't want you to have this undue negligence or fear about ticks. I want you to know about it, and so this video is just a quick snapshot for tick prevention, give you a couple tips that are really helpful. This week I decided to take my tick collar off my dog for some dumb reason. I'm not sure why I did this. Like, his hair was starting to get a little, so I thought, oh, I'll give him a little rest from the flea and tick collar. Well, I did that for about 7 days. And on day 7, I came home and Derek, that's my husband, not Derek. My dog came in the back door and I started petting him and he had this little bump on his rear end. And I'm like, what is that? And I look in there and sure enough, there's this big black nasty tick on him and it's sucking the life out of him. So I got some tweezers after I freaked out and calmed down, and then with tweezers pulled it out. And the key with pulling ticks out, by the way, is that you want to make sure you get the head with it. And I knew that I did because there was a little piece of skin stuck in this guy's mouth, this little tick, this big tick. It was a big one. Ticks, by the way, come in all different sizes and shapes. They come from really microscopic to where they look like a piece of dirt, or they can be really big, like a ladybug. This one was one of the bigger ones. So if you have a flea and tick collar on your dog, don't take it off just because it's cute. The other thing I didn't do was I wasn't as vigilant about tick spray. And I am vigilant about myself when I take a walk with my dog. I always make sure I put spray on me, but with him I just didn't think about it, and so that was a bad idea. I'll come back to that story in a minute, but one thing I want to tell you is this. There's a bug spray by Thistle Farms. I'll put a link to this in the blog here. I really love this company. I know this bug spray works. I've tried it. I've used it. I don't have ticks on me. Before I found it, I found a tick in my hair. After I'd taken a walk, it's Tennessee. It is like tick country out here. And I've actually met more people with Lyme disease here in the Nashville area than pretty much anywhere else. So it's just really prevalent here. There's lots of ticks. I live in a wooded area, or not wooded area, but it's a new neighborhood. And so they had to clear all the brush, clear a lot of trees out in order to put the houses here. Because of that, there's a lot of critters, there's deer, rabbits, all that stuff. And the ticks just have plenty to do here. So you don't go walking mindlessly out here. You just have to make sure you take care of it. So I love this spray. It doesn't smell too bad. It does have some citronella in it, but its main ingredient, and this is the thing I want to tell you, is rose geranium oil. That is the oil that flat out works. Ticks don't like it. They'll stay away from you. I believe it's pretty good for mosquitoes as well. You can get that at Thistle Farms. I think it's .com, but look up Thistle Farms. They're a great company. They help battered women come out of those situations. They help do restoration, rehabilitation, and they are the ones that actually make this formula. They build it in their factory here in Nashville. It's a local company, but the whole business is built on rehabilitation and restoration. So that's why I love it. It helps women and their progress there, and it helps you because then you don't get bit by a tick. Just one company. There's other ways you can do it. So there's Thistle Farms. There's also, you can get rose geranium oil now, I believe, at Thrive Market, and we actually have an affiliate link on our website here at startfeelingawesome.com. We would love it if you haven't signed up with Thrive and you want to. They're a great company too. They're great for groceries, pantry items that are way cheaper than getting them in the grocery store. So if you'd like to do that, sign up with us, because then we can get some of that money back to help us fund our Start Feeling Awesome movement. So if you want to do that, that's great. If you don't, we still love you. Okay, so Thrive Market, rose geranium. After I got the tick off my pup, I put it in a bag. Again, this is after I stopped freaking out. Put it in a bag and I sent it off to a place called ticknology.org. Clever name, right? Ticknology.org. The reason I did that is because I wanted to see what was in this tick. What kind of diseases, plural, was it carrying? Quite often, ticks have a variety of things. It's not just one thing. We all think Lyme disease, that is Borrelia bacteria, but it can be any number of things. So I haven't gotten the results back yet from his tick to see what's going on there. I'm just monitoring him for symptoms. And actually this morning he did not eat any of his breakfast. So that's the first day in a week. That's not a good sign. So I'm going to keep checking on him for that. A year and a half ago, my husband got bit. It was on him for, we think, about 3 days. And that thing was bloated. It was a big old fatty. And we knew it had bit him through and through. And it had been there a while. So we sent it in. And it turned out it was positive for something called Ehrlichia. And Ehrlichia can cause ehrlichiosis. It attacks your liver and it can kill you. It doesn't always, but it can make you very, very sick. And so rather than waiting to see if he was going to get sick or waiting to do that, we just did antibiotics prophylactically with him, since we knew he'd gotten bit by the tick really hardcore and we knew what the tick was carrying. I called my Lyme doctor and said, my husband just got bit. We want to be proactive with this. And he was in full agreement. So we actually ran my husband through, I think it was 6 to 8 weeks of doxycycline. That's kind of the standard protocol for that. And we're going to do some more stuff on Lyme disease, I think, for this month. I'm just going to kind of zoom in on Lyme for a little bit. One of the things that's helpful to know is the CDC does not say 6 to 8 weeks of doxycycline is the treatment. They say 2 weeks. From what I know and the people that I know, and I have quite a few friends that have dealt with Lyme and are dealing with Lyme, 2 weeks of doxycycline has not done squat. So be careful of any doctor that tells you that. They're just listening to what they've been taught. They've just been taught incorrectly. Part of the reason we think that Lyme disease and Borrelia bacteria in particular takes longer than 2 weeks. There is data for this. It's what's called a spirochete. And spirochete infections, spirochete bacteria, are these corkscrewed bacteria. Well, they're in the same family as syphilis. Okay, doesn't mean that you have syphilis if you have Lyme, but they're related. They're like cousins. They're both corkscrew shaped, both in the same category. And syphilis treatment is months. It's months of antibiotics. So why would you think that Lyme disease would be a lot shorter? Really quick, one other thing I want to mention is that there are certain ticks that are defined as being in a certain area, like the Lone Star tick. It gets its name from Texas. But just because it has that name doesn't mean that it stayed in Texas. You know what I'm saying? My husband's tick that was on his leg was a Lone Star tick. We don't live in Texas. Things don't stay where they used to be, you know? And so just because some map on the CDC says that this kind of tick is not in this area, it's just, they can't control it. I mean, if a tick hops on your backpack and you hop on a Southwest flight to New Jersey, then guess what? You're going to take the tick with you. Put your bug spray on, be vigilant about it. One thing I want to mention, don't spray your dog with the bug spray. Spray your hand and wipe your dog or your pet down, okay? Go camping, take a walk, enjoy your dog, enjoy your family. Just be wise about it, all right?